you're obviously a big Man United fan. What did you make of this so far? We've got the first part now in full, and what did you make of it all?
No, most of us as Man United fans, we're sick and tired of hearing it. But I'm looking at it from like a personal standpoint. If I was like a professional footballer who's coming to the end of his career, the only thing that I'm upset about Ronaldo with is actually talking about the manager, Erik Ten Hag. I think as a professional footballer playing for a club, you can do it when you've left the club. But while you're still at the club, I don't think you should talk about the manager. But
you shouldn't talk about anything about the club, though, Jace, because you're playing for Manchester United.
Now, if you've left the club, then you can do what you want.
But he hasn't left the club.
That's what I'm saying. So that's the only reason. But I think he's coming to the end of his career. We're talking about most people have retired at his age. Most people are 37 years old that are playing professional football have retired. So Ronaldo's not looking for the next big move of his career. He's had them. He's just looking to retire and to just call it a day. So he's in a position where he can say what he wants. He doesn't have to.
I don't think he is, though, Jace. I don't think he's doing this interview to retire from football.
No, but I'm saying he's in a position where if he feels like hard done by, but look, footballers get written about every single other day in every tabloid in this country, and they go through like you lot play football at the highest level, and you go through your whole career hearing lies about your families, your other half, things that are true, that are not true. A lot of footballers don't have the power or don't have the stance that Ronaldo has or the pull that he has to say, you know what, I'm going to tell my story. And I know there's a lot of footballers who won't come out and say it, but they will be behind them and say, yeah, it's about time someone says what they believe or stands up for themselves because
Jace,
to lose a child, go on.
But Jace, this wasn't. They only mentioned that in a small part. That's everyone lives in the spotlight, as a celebrity. The newspapers fill it with all sorts of tripe. But that's not what this interview's about. So he's not gracious about anything. He's not humble. He
doesn't have to be, because as a Man United fan, everything that he's spoken about, the club, the training, the facilities, the hierarchy, we've all believed it as Man United fans, and we've all wanted someone to come out and say it, but no one's come out and said it.
Jace, right, this is Cristiano Ronaldo, yeah? Right?
Yeah.
Why didn't he find this out before he joined them?
He did. Most probably said that he...
Well, don't complain about it then. If you know what you're... So you join a club the size of Manchester United, and you think that he's joined that club, and he doesn't know the swimming pool hasn't changed. He doesn't know. It's his job to find out, and it's the people that go after him. He should know this. To come on and start moaning about the club that you've joined, so it hasn't moved on. I have to say,
I'm sure before you joined talkSPORT, you never knew the chairs were that bad. You must have heard about. Yeah, they've got the top of the range. This that you've got there, and you're like, oh, they could have got better chairs. They could have got better this. It happens. What I'm trying to say is, it happens. You get there and you realise that things are not what you thought they were. You might have thought you've been sitting in some leather recliners and.
That's Alan Brazil's seat, that one. That's Alan Brazil's.
What I'm saying is this. He should never have spoke about the manager, but even when he's talked about the young footballers, he said it, like I had to watch the interview, and he said, look, I'm not talking about every young footballer. There's a couple at the club that do turn up, and he mentioned Diego Dallo, and he said that, and I'm not just talking about Man United youngsters, I'm talking about youngsters across the board. And he even mentioned his own son, and he said, look, my son's from a different era, so we can't blame them. And he even said that we can't actually blame the young players. So I think everyone's going a bit overboard because he's done something that people are just not used to. He's gone against the grain. But in reality, what's Ronaldo done? He just told the truth of what's happening at Man United. Has he lied about anything?
Well, I doubt that he's lied, but, there's a... he's... so they've taken his mural down. Chase? Is he gone? He's dropped off. He's dropped off. I think... I just feel that to do this type of interview now, what's the end game? What does he want to achieve?
Well, I think the obvious...
Other than
he wants to leave Manchester United,
right.
And I think he's obviously looked at it and thought, I want out. I'm going to say it how it is. I'm going to give you what I see, an inside picture of Manchester United, and they're just going to have to suffer it. I don't want to be at the football club anymore, and this is my way out, and a way of letting everyone know what's really going on behind the scenes.
Well, he's certainly done that.
All right, let's go to Joel, who's a Manchester United fan. All right, Joel.
Hello.
Hey, Joel.
All right, Joel. Yeah, what do you make of this interview again?
It's absolutely mental, to be honest, because I'm so conflicted, being a Man United fan. Because, to be honest, this week, because we're in this season break, I was planning to come on here and say 3 words and 3 words only. It's coming home. But I can't now. I begged him on so much. Like, you can probably see, like, a bit conflicted.
It was staged, yes. It was absolutely staged. Ronaldo, the questions were premeditated. He knows what he's answering. When you do interviews that Piers normally does, he doesn't give the person in front of him a chance to know what's coming. But this was staged, and it was designed. I mean, I'd love to know what. It just seems watching it so unnecessary. I mean, what? Yeah. I don't. Here's a question: where are his representatives? Who are the people around him saying to him, "Come on"? I mean, there may well have been people that have done that. Who knows? There may well have been, but
it's more so. I was just listening to the previous caller then, and you can tell he was just a super Ronaldo fan, because I've got problems with the owners, but at the same time, you don't go jabbing at your boss. You just don't. It's just unnecessary. You can't. You go to them privately. And like you guys said as well, if he has problems with the facilities, surely he knew this beforehand. Surely he's gone I'm not buying that. Come on, this is Ronaldo. He's got an entourage of people. You telling me the first time he turned up at Carrington was the first time since he left? Not a chance. I'm not having that. It's frozen time since he left, and it's come back and. It's just all restarted again. It's like, it's all not changed.
Joel, do you think he's ruined his legacy at Manchester United now?
I think he's like kicked a bit of dirt on it. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I can always remember that free kick against Portsmouth where David Game was good still. That I'll remember that he won the Champions League. But right now, it's kind of like just put a big red line through it and just.
I think what will happen. I think because we've never seen
Joel.
This type of interview by a footballer the size of Ronaldo, where he's coming out, leaving bits on everyone. I think once the dust settles, I think when things move on, I think his legacy will be remembered because he's just so, it's been so brilliant. I think that if he was playing for my club, I would feel upset, and I come away I feel disappointed in him a little bit, and I'm no United fan.
Yeah, because look, we love greatness, right? We love seeing great players play football, excelling. We love watching them. And when you see a player who pretty much we've all looked up to in the past and watched in awe of how good he is, to then see him kind of do an interview like this, which is so self-indulgent, so kind of all about him, and kind of very dismissive about the football club, which is a great football club, you kind of look at it and go, you kind of let me down.
He's lived in a bubble for 20 odd years, and the first genuine sign of him not being at the level that he's used to being, and it must be tough for him. I can't imagine what it must be like to be one of the greatest players or one of the greatest humans ever to put on a pair of football boots, and you see your powers waning. That can't be easy. That's got to be tough.
It comes to us all, Jace.
No.
I mean, when we're retiring, we've all been there. We've all been footballers.
But no one's.
You're out on a football pitch,
But
and all
no
of a
one's been
sudden you're not
Ronaldo.
involved. I know.
No one's been Ronaldo. We're talking about
that, but
one of.
It's still the same thing, though, Jace. As a player, when you're retiring, you're not playing.
But look what Maradona did when he retired. Look at the troubles he went through. I think it's tough, and of course it's personal tragedy. I can't imagine what it must be like to look in the mirror, look at the physique, look at what you've achieved, look at the goals you scored last year, and look at that and think, how can I not be involved in this team? How am I not on that pitch? And you're right, it comes to us all, right? And sometimes it comes to us brutal. I mean, my career was ended early through injury, but he's still fit. One of the fittest men out there. His physique, the way he's looked after himself, it must be. I'm not making an excuse for him, but it must be tough being Ronaldo, coming out of that bubble and accepting it for the first time, trying to face it. Actually,
but what does that say about your character when all of a sudden you are coming out of the bubble of Ronaldo and Messi being the greatest of all time, and there's new people on the block, and you are not playing week in, week out, and all of a sudden that does happen. You are, but you can't accept it, and then you do an interview like that.
Okay, again, I'm trying to just slightly look at it from his point of view in a way here. how can you just accept it? Because that's what's made him so brilliant. He's never accepted second best. He's never accepted not being the number one. He's always felt he's number one. He doesn't care about Messi. Messi's number two by some distance. That's what he believes. And that's why he is still Ronaldo playing for Manchester United. But unfortunately for him, he's finding it hard to cope and accept, actually, that's not me anymore.
The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.